Okay, so this was an idea that we had tried pretty early into the MH3 development cycle, where there's a pretty interesting overlap between Bloodbraid Marauder into Glimpse of Tomorrow and just Shifting Woodland for Omniscience in the sense that both cards are trying to cheat big stuff and Omniscience into play. So when we had played this deck in the past, we were in our Karn Woodland Omni era, and we were really in on assembling Woodlands and Karn still. The problem is when you go from Marauder, you just aren't that likely to hit both in play. That was always the issue with that, despite there being a lot of cool overlap where both cards care about Deliria, both cards really like to play Rumble. Um, um, both cards, or sorry, I should say that if your opponent's playing a lot of counter magic and discard, like the Woodland plan compensates really well for that. And I think it just kind of was always better instead of going for Karn to go in on casting big stuff instead. So our big stuff is a split of Archon Cruelty, Terastodon, and an Elesh Norn. And I've been liking the shell a lot. You also get a sideboard in this build, which is really cool. To some extent, you're really spinning the wheel when you're playing Bloodbraid Marauder. A lot of the times, you want to try to Marauder with more permanents rather than less. That's also why we're playing Invasion of Ergamon because it's an extra type for Deliria, but it also puts two. It's a discard effect that puts two permanents in play, and then also just even like the fact that if you hit Omniscience and then you hit this instead of hitting like more cash grabs, then it can cantrip you into something to play off Omniscience, or it can cantrip you into another cantrip into something off Omniscience. Yeah, I know Invasion of Ergamon is weird, but we're a Delirium deck that cares about discarding cards and putting permanents in play. Invasion just ends up being really, really, really good. So let's mulligan our one lander here. Playing 24 lands in the deck. Now we're on 6. I think we should go to 5. Pretty good 5. Let's put back the Archon and the Fable. I think I tend to like Spyro more than Fable because it puts more permanents into play. Or I guess it can. Is Marauder the only Cascade? Yes. It's the only 2-mana Cascader that exists. So by playing Marauder as our Cascade target of choice, we have the ability to play Malevolent Rumble, which is like just a crazy card, and then a few Rumble similar cards like the Battle and Cash Grab, which sets up everything really well. Okay, gonna keep this on top. All right, I think I'm just gonna take the basic forest. Very good chance next turn I just cast the Seasoned Pyromancer. I discard the Omniscience and then whatever card we draw. I think they flopped for the most part. Could be wrong. I wasn't playing when they introduced. I don't know. I mean, I know I personally like them. I think I'm usually pretty disconnected from the average Magic player's public opinion. Or says they'll show up in future sets. That's cool. It's just been a while, you know. I expected them to come out. Thanks, gamers. But you know, so instead of Marauder, you know, Marauder's our only Cascader. We have a lot of dig for it, but we have the Woodlands to kind of give redundancy to the Marauder and vice versa. Sorry, it looks like I linked the. No, I took the basic. I only have 2 basics in this deck. Oh, they targeted themselves. Let's go. So interesting. Black white blink. I really hope they're playing the Soul Stone. It's so boring to me to play like a normal black white blink deck with like 2 Soul Stones, but I do think it's a pretty good addition. Okay, so we could try to go Rumble into Marauder. I think it's going to be better for me to just go Spyro here. Although I guess I don't even really have Delirium yet. Maybe this was a mistake. Mistakes made, maybe. Maybe I can like chump attack with the Seasoned Pyromancer. The extra permanents to play are nice, although if I'm chump attacking with this, less nice. Rumble to Marauder was goated. Yeah, maybe. I didn't like that we had to sack a permanent to cast the Marauder that turn. I'm surprised you're able to refer to everything by the Spider-Man set name as opposed to the mono name. I mean, that's just kind of how I learned the cards, I guess. I'm also, you know, not super excited still for the Omen Path builds, except for Fleam. So they find an enduring innocence off the Overlord. Most of the Blink players I've heard don't seem interested in trying the stone. And I mean, that's sad, yeah. I just think it's worth trying, but obviously not the biggest deal. Okay, so we're gonna get to Surveil. We don't need to chump attack anymore. Pass back. Hopefully they play Enduring Innocence here. We tend to have pretty good top decks too, because we've got like Rumble, Cash Grab, Marauder, Woodland, Seasoned Pyromancer, Fable, all as like really good top decks in these spots. Could be playing Dredger's Insight over Cash Grab, worse at Delirium, better at a permanent for Glimpse. Yeah. Being a permanent for Glimpse does matter a lot. I have had some bricks. And so just like it could be better, yeah. It can't put enchantment into its hand though, so like wait, can it put battle into your hand? Is there a way to hardcast Archon? Omniscience? We do have treasure tokens. We got Fables and the battles for treasure tokens, I guess. Okay, that wasn't on my good top deck list. Saw someone playing a deck with Octopus and Bloom. Yeah, there's some weirdness there that I don't love. What did they returned an Emperor of Bones. They can get rid of my Omniscience, which turns off my outs a lot. I guess I should have just jammed the stupid Marauder, huh? Yeah, you can't put the battle into your hand, which is kind of funny. Blink has kind of fallen off since Goryosis would do what way better. I mean, I agree that that's the case. Although some people just love playing Blink, you know. They consider Dragonback Assault. I guess I have to read this. Overlord seems good in our deck. Why not trying it? This Overlord? Could be interesting. It requires like an extra splash, and the mana's already kind of weird, right? Where we're playing the Khalni Gardens and the Woodlands, so we like a third color wouldn't be that easy. I agree it'd be okay. I know we could change the mana base. So you can't, again, the third color is not like the easiest to splash for. It's harder than you might think it is. I guess I'm gonna make tokens in a turn. 6 mana, deal everything, landfall 4/4 dragon. Seems interesting, I guess, kind of. I mean, as long as we're not dead, we just have like plenty of outs, or just Marauder mostly. But Green Overlord ramps and makes multiple permanents. I think Green Overlord is like clearly worse than Fable and Spyro, and that's what you would play it over, right? Black Overlord can bin Marauder. I agree that Black Overlord is interesting and potentially good, but it comes at a pretty significant mana cost. Like you might not be able to play the Gemstone Caverns. Maybe that's it. It's just harder to cast in this deck than you think it would be. Like playing Khalni Garden and Woodland makes the third color way more difficult. Don't think we're dead. We might be dead. They've got 8 in the air. And I can go. I guess they're gonna Felly a token. I go chump chump, and if I just rumble into a Marauder or draw a Marauder, should be okay. It could be okay. I see Benton's Broodskell Yogg. If so, do you think it might be better than the traditional builds? I haven't seen Benton's build. I have seen for it's been like it feels like a full year almost, or close to a year, of people in chat asking me if I've seen these Broodskell Yogg builds. I have seen them. People asking me about them and me going, well, they could be good. Let's see if they put up any results. They put up some minor results. I don't know. To me, I think that they look cooler than they're good, if that makes sense. Like I'm of the opinion that if I was gonna play Broodscale, it's really attractive to me to have my top end not be Yawgmoth, but to have it be Ice Till Emrakul. That seems like the direction I'd like to go. Okay, so I think we probably punted by not just jamming, but didn't play around the Thoughtseize. So against more traditional Blink, I don't think we need to sideboard too heavily. Their graveyard hate, they could have a Relic plus Ketchamos, which would be pretty annoying. But if they don't have it, we don't want to bring in the Force of Vigors. Collector Ouphe could also be an angle against that. The Pyroclasms I don't think are great. think we can try cutting Terastodons for Ouphe. I've been playing the non-delirium version of this the past few days. Well, I don't of this deck. This deck always plays delirium. Oh, you're just like the Shardless Agent build. What's your answer to Teferi? Well, in this deck, the answer to Teferi is you Shifting Woodland Omniscience, right? So maybe that's the reason to play this build over that build. How did the Ice Tail Valakut deck perform? I think it was okay. It wasn't anything too crazy, but I did think it was better than the Free Strider build. Or I know we played one Free Strider still. I was also doing some, what do you call it? I was trying to creativity the Devour creature into play in a Valakut shell last night. I just like was doing a lot of solitaring with it, seeing like what I could put into play. It was better than I expected, but the problem was just like you put too many fetch lands into play. But like if you weren't playing fetch lands, then all of a sudden it would have killed like pretty consistently, a lot more consistently than I would have expected. But I also don't think it's very realistic to try to expect you to not put a lot of fetch lands into play, you know. So they didn't have the Relic. I think we'll cast the Rumble here. Plays a little bit better against Fatal Push, right? So I'll be a little bit short of Delirium. Just creature, sorcery, land. Taking the Elesh Norn is pretty attractive. Taking the Garden's also pretty nice. Backup Marauder could be good too. Like, I know those are the only options, but all the options seem pretty reasonable. The Elesh Norn is, we don't have a land that taps for white in the deck, but we do have 8 cards that make treasures, so it's not the hardest to cast overall. I think we'll take it. Do y'all want to see Ice Till Broodscale? I know other people have played it, but I haven't seen a version that's just playing 4 Emrakuls with the Ice Tills. Because I think it makes a lot of sense on paper, where you're a Broodscale combo deck. You get to play, you know, your Matter Reshaper, Glaring Fleshrakers, and Broodscale Plan, and then if your opponents are playing a lot of interaction, you just get to pivot into Ice Till Emrakul, and it feels like you get to cover a lot of bases when you build a deck like that. I just haven't sat down to build it. Okay, discarding 2 Archons means I've got not the most gas, so I think I'm gonna discard an Ouphe and an Archon here. And to make it to be where if I can find, or if I can get an Omniscience in play, my cast will be really strong. I found a home for Jackal. Okay, what is Jackal? I've heard some people ask me about that, but I don't even know what that card is. Would you say Ice Till's overperform since your initial evaluation? I think so. I mean, I think it has become a modern staple. It's like a staple in Eldrazi, and it's a staple, or maybe not a staple in Titan, but I think it's pretty good in Titan. You played Jackal? Oh, no, I didn't play this card. Okay, so yeah. Jackal, Genius Geneticist. This is a card that we talked about on stream. I forgot to add to my set review. I was working on this card last night. It is a 2-mana 1/1 trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell, mana value equal to its power, you copy it, except the spell isn't legendary. The problem with this card is that it's a Guide Pride card. I'm finding the hardest time playing this outside of like a Bant, Guide Pride, Mockingbird deck. And I don't know, we could bring that to the stream. I'm just not that excited for it. Yeah, I thought about also adding it to the humans deck. It seems slow there. It seems slow. It could possibly play really well. The problem is the humans deck right now only has 7 1-mana humans. And this card kind of does nothing without one of the 1-mana humans. Yeah, Mockingbird is really good with this with Jackal. I know. But yeah, and so Jackal is kind of good with it could be good in the Relic Humans deck. It could be garbage. I just need to test it. Yeah, I agree. I think we would need another 1-drop. So maybe you could go like a Champion of the Parish build, but that card also sucks, so I don't know. Okay, they wisp their backstreets. So I do think that there's some stuff. Maybe I need to bite the bullet and play it with Guide Pride Mockingbird, because like that does seem pretty good. But it's kind of boring to me. Okay, great draw. let's hit another type in the yard here. Okay, thanks. Shout out to Battles. And the Cast Grab, I guess, too. Spin the wheel. Let's go gambling. Greenwire, 31 months. Thank you. Welcome back. It's okay. Could be better. They sack the Wisp. Can play another Fable next turn. And then these might give me enough treasures to card cast the Elesh Norn. Mockingbird is a Nombo with Jackal. You only get a bird that can copy a 0. Okay, let's see why that is not the case. When you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to its power, copy the spell, except the copy isn't legendary. So I guess I'm confused why it doesn't work, because I would think that you would go like... So let's say there's a Guide of Souls in play. You would go Mockingbird, and then the Jackal would copy the Mockingbird spell, and... Oh, is it because no mana was spent to cast the spell? Is that the problem? Ah, damn. They've got 2 cards left in their hand. Do I have an Omniscience in the graveyard? I don't. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put that in the yard so I can find a Shifting Woodland. Do I want to also discard a Wooded Foothills? I think the answer to that question is a yes. No mana was spent to cast the copy. Okay, so that is good feedback. I'm pretty sure. I think you're right that it works that way. I guess I would want to make 100% sure. On the stack, it copies the mana value. I should have the same mana value, but Mockingbird specifically says if no mana was spent, or however much mana was spent to cast it. I think in order to stop combos like this. It's kind of like how you usually can't get cards from your exile with wishes, but card just says or from exile, and people get confused that other wishes can get it. They have a Wrath the Skies to clear my Shaman tokens. Not really so bad. Although, I guess, for my casting Elesh Norn purposes, it's kind of tough. It works this way because I was testing Jackal in Standard. Okay. And by this way, you mean it doesn't work with the Mockingbird. I'm going to discard the Ouphe and the Caverns. I'm just really digging for a Woodland, which we have more Woodlands in the deck. Like a good amount. Isn't copying a spell, copy or cost to pay? Yes, but again, Mockingbird specifically says how much mana was spent to cast it, which you still didn't spend any mana to cast the card, you know? So you could play Temple Guard main. I just think it's kind of not worth it with all the treasure tokens, and maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's my take here. You have a lot of treasure token enablers. The mana is worse in this deck than you might think it is. I don't know how good y'all think it is. It isn't all that good. I think I'm gonna go ahead and make this block now. We're kind of ahead in the longer game since we have got the extra Fable. I think maybe not letting them ephemerate this is good. Maybe I should have blocked a little bit earlier. Although I kind of needed these. Yeah, so let's go ahead and say no. And then now we get a treasure token for the Norn next turn. I don't think I want to discard the Archon of Cruelty necessarily, though. A glimpse, it's interesting. Can't cast this off Omniscience sometimes. It's just we're so close to... We have so many Woodlands left in the deck. We have, I believe, 3 and 29. Wait, is it 4? Okay, we actually have all 4 left. And so, like, we just need a top deck Woodlands to still be really nuts. Are we flipping the battle? Yeah, I mean, I think it's attacking them or attacking the battles better than attacking them here. So yeah, when this enters, you can discard a card and search your library for a land or a battle card. Oh, we can search our library for Woodlands. Now that's just good deck building. Okay. I thought it was basic land. I didn't know it was any land. Sorry. feel like I'm going to draw the Woodland instead. Okay, thankfully not. What do y'all know about Truga Cliffcharger? Y'all don't know nothing about Truga Cliffcharger. Alright. Dude, and we can copy it too with the reflection. Deck building. Alright, so I woodland my Omniscience. I cast Elesh Norn. I cast Archon of Cruelty, and they'll concede before we get to do too much more fun stuff, probably. Why discard the land for Elesh? Why discard the land for Elesh? I said, but I really want to keep the option. The other option was to keep or discard this Archon of Cruelty, and we have 4 Omnisciences left in our deck, and we have a lot of cards that dig for Omniscience. Or sorry, not we have 4 Woodlands, 4 Omniscience left in our deck, and we have a lot of cards that dig us for the Woodlands, and so by keeping the Archon in our hand, we make all of those top decks really nuts, which I think is more important than just hardcasting the Elesh Norn, although maybe hardcasting Elesh Norn is too hard for them to beat. They showed us that they have Dam in their deck post board, so doesn't exactly seem like it'll be too hard to beat necessarily. All right, I'm going to keep in the Ouphe, even though, like, if they don't have Relic in their deck, we'll be happy enough with that. You could not attack with the Fable and clone the Archon with the token from the Rumble. Well, that played around my opponent having nothing, which is usually not something I'm that interested in doing. I think we gotta play around our opponent having like a removal spell there, and so if they have a removal spell, we want to just attack with both and then be able to still catch the Norn. I guess we couldn't cast the Norn post combat if we don't flip the thing. We get to keep the treasure token in play. So I guess they're going to take the Rumble. Is creativity in the first Norn better than the 4th Archon? Well, so creativity is bad with Glimpse. Like, having a bunch of these non-creature spells isn't exactly a good part of the plan, in my opinion. So, like, I think you could be creativity Woodlands. I think you could be creativity Glimpse, maybe, although that seems a bit tougher. They still have Voice of Victory in? But I don't exactly think that playing all 3 is good enough or good. I think it's a little bit too high on the curve. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. All right, let's play a Fable this turn. I'm going to keep the Rumble, though. Got a lot of dig for Woodlands or a Marauder, although I don't have a Omniscience in the yard for Woodlands yet, although Woodlands on Archon's not too bad sometimes. Quite a Celestial Colonnade. Invasion of Ergamon has found me Boseiju before. That's pretty cool. I guess we have that line available too. Although honestly, you should probably play the Boseiju. It could be that could be the spot if you really want to play your Temple Garden. This deck is just so weird. It feels like this deck always breaks a lot of rules. Okay, so let's go and attack with our Shaman token. We don't mind so much if they have Felia, right? Since that would just be a trade. And I think we should cast our Rumble first. If I find a Woodland, if I find Woodland Omniscience, I can use that. If I find Marauder, I can cast Marauder. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. Now, I don't have that much to do yet. But I can draw some cards, of course. Okay, so Woodland, copy Omniscience. Turn 3. So let's start off by playing our Invasion of Ergamon. So this sees the most cards. Cash grab. So we find a Seasoned Pyromancer or an Omniscience. I think we should just put the Omniscience in play, since the second Spyro, of course, doesn't let us actually draw any extra cards, because you'd have to discard the second to the first. Cowards can't block warriors. Our board could be worse. Probably going to be better. Is there a world where opponents holding a reprieve? I mean, possibly, but it wouldn't do anything, of course, with Omniscience in play. Kind of unclear. I think this board's not too bad for us though. Cowards can't block warriors, deep cut. I guess I should have stacked the triggers actually where I drew my Archon card after the Spyro ability resolved. I've always been in favor of that just being a rule in Magic the Gathering. Cowards can't block warriors. Like that is a hard-coded rule. Is there a coward in play? It cannot block a card with a warrior creature type. Changelings can't block changelings, I guess. Maybe kind of silly. Alright, so we'll see if they have the Solitude for the Archon. They are exiling my graveyard, which was really juicy for my Woodland. Although I also get to draw with the Fable. We're doing pretty good even if they do have the Solitude, which they do have. So I think I don't have another commercial district still in the deck. I think I do. We had a roll that said this creature cut. Yeah, that's true. We had walls. It's not that different. Again, not the most serious thing ever, but I do think it would be pretty fun. All right, so let's just discard an Omniscience, for which we do have Woodland and Forest, although we're kind of low on types. Although here is a Rumble to give us at least one more type. So can I cast Elesh Norn this turn? And why is it better to spin the wheel? How many Archons do I have left in the deck? I only have 2. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just cast this Elesh Norn this turn. And not be the greediest bastard on the stream. I guess I still am by default. Yeah, I know we can Omni Norn, which I guess is technically more mana efficient than casting the Norn. It doesn't play around Surgical though. So I guess we kind of can't lose if our opponent's last card is Surgical, but so I guess we'll do this. Save a treasure token. Every single creature with the coward type has a line saying it can't block a warrior. Changelings don't. Yeah, I know it wouldn't change. It would mostly just affect changelings mechanically, so maybe not that good of an idea. But you're right. I forgot that is just already the case. Want to play around Dam? We have the Woodland, so like Dam doesn't even do that much. My opponent's got a Kahira the Orphan Guard. All orphans can rest safe tonight. There are 3 cowards that say cowards can't block warriors. Okay, we gotta do something about this. Okay, well, Norn can't block alone. Can't block at all. And Menace as long as you control a stickered permanent. What a... I can't believe like this card is like legal and like it's like the sticker cards. I don't know. Hater. Alright, I do think the most important thing is that I get Woodlands or Omniscience discarded. I think that's more important than the Rumble resolving. No stickers, no attractions. No, they got banned. Okay, that's good. I didn't hear about that. What a weird... it's okay. It's good. It's good. I'm happy they banned it. Got a positive attitude. Always. They've got Counterspell up. So let's get ready to Rumble. This gets snared. A little bit tempting to jam the Marauder because of Teferi, but we have Omniscience in the graveyard. They got banned because all stickers, because one sticker saw play and it created a nightmare for competitive. Yeah, I mean, that's just why they... I think none of them should have been legal in Legacy or Commander in the first place. It's just kind of a very greedy decision overall, of course. Okay, so we have the Woodlands. I do think that this turn we probably just want to play the Marauder. Go Khalni Garden Marauder. Oh, they're going to kick an Orm's Chant. Okay, well... Oh, sorry, I don't have Delirium. Maybe hardcast Elesh Norn. So there's a cash grab. So I have Delirium even if this gets countered. Let's grab the Seasoned Pyromancer. And then I think we're just going to go Woodland. Oh, sorry. For some reason, I guess I'm not sorry, but I just thought that was a Khalni Garden for some reason. I said Woodlands. So not the most worried if this gets countered because we have the Omniscience stuff going next turn. We've got 5. Oh. Wow, that's Glimpse, baby. So I guess I should have surveilled first, too. Okay, so next turn we're going to go Woodland, Omniscience with Spyro in hand. That's Glimpse. Don't gamble, kids. Still kind of in fine shape, but obviously mostly because our opponent's been missing land drops. Yeah, not the worst miss ever. So they pitch a Teferi to their Solitude. They can exile my Seasoned Pyromancer. Probably maybe this because it's got an extra point of power. They do go after the Spyro. Well, let's see if this. I am going to cast the Terastodon first. It didn't exactly seem like my opponent had a counterspell last turn, right? Since they didn't counterspell the Glimpse. Have you seen the mana curve of the blue-white Scepter Chant deck? It has 11 3-drops. I am familiar, yeah. Okay, so they Subtlety the Terastodon, pitching a Narset, then we can Spyro into it. Maybe they have another Subtlety. Oh, one kind of weird. It's not going to come up that often, but in this deck, if you want to Glimpse again, and for some reason like you really need to hit Archon of Cruelty, and your Terastodon triggers on the opponent's side don't matter, which might come up against Boros, but this probably doesn't matter that much. But one thing you can do is you can Terastodon your own lands. So when you Glimpse again, you have the same permanent count, but you're less likely to hit. Like you have 3 less lands to hit off of your permanent count or the cards you reveal. So again, kind of weird, kind of minor, but could come up. Do you want to bring in Charmaws? A little bit. Kind of play like 2 over Cash Grab and an Invasion. Bean with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. You know, for all the decks, for all the Dark Pools, for all the Relic of Legends human combo decks that are harder to play on Magic Online, there's decks like this that are significantly easier to play on Magic Online. Am I going to Gemstone Caverns here? The Gemstone Caverns kind of does nothing because my other 2 lands intertapped. So I guess no. I kind of want all these cards anyways. Well, would have imprinted that. Could maybe loot this away. So let's not just run the Rumble into a counterspell, just hold up the Cash Grab. I didn't play Liza P, Hitachi, no. I did beat Hades 2, at least like the base game. Although now I've got to kind of wait for Esther to beat the base game because I can't play it without her getting spoiled now. If you're willing to share how much you spend on Moto Tix rental service here, I'm not sure exactly, but I do deduct them all on my taxes. All right, counterspell revealed. I don't have a number for you right now. Hundreds. I guess I'm gonna take the Fable. It's a bit better into the Spyro than, or a bit better into the Narset than the Spyro. Kind of need to find some red mana. Maybe, I mean, just drawing the second Caverns is so awkward. Seems like they're thinking of forcing this. They do. You still use rental services that your Timmy account got account? Yeah, I use my Spike account more than I use my Timmy account because if I don't get QPs on Timmy, I don't get any prizes, I don't get anything. So I need to mostly grind on Spike. I just am doing Timmy today because I've got so many different weird decks. But yeah, it's the Spike account isn't a god account. And I still use it pretty often. Also, like one thing on the Timmy account is you can't sell your the cards you open in chests. So it's like it's a lot harder to go infinite. You can't sell chests either. It's a lot harder to like go infinite because you're only getting the play points back. You're not able to cash in the chest at all, or at least the cards in the chest. You can open them for play points. So if as far as just grinding goes, it's a lot better on the Spike account. I'm gonna mulligan this on the play. A little bit too much air. Kind of close though. You go an Archon in the deck. The Norn's kind of hard castable, though not like the best hard cast, I guess. Like a version of your first Absent Ritual deck. I was actually working on it yesterday because I was basically trying to figure out if this was a good shell for the Through the Omen Paths card. I do think it's like kind of an okay spot. You have to play 4 Spring Hearts, but the thing is it's just so much clearly worse than Birthing Ritual that I've gotten a little discouraged on it. But I'm glad you're still liking it. I do like the archetype a lot. Maybe I should have gotten Spyro. It's a bit better against Narset and Teferi. They got an archive, so that's good news. GG's on. Okay, thankfully they don't have one of their million threes this turn. They consider Dredger's Insight over Cash Grab for permanent count, or is it Missing Enchantment too bad? Missing Enchantment's tough. Cash Grab is our only instance, so having some instance for Delirium is really nice. It also doesn't get Battle, which is relevant. Alright, I'm gonna discard a Norn. I think I discarded a Marauder too. Although the second Spyro is usually a lot worse. Let's discard the second Spyro. Weird draws. So our first Spyro is probably getting discarded here. We cast Elesh. We didn't have the extra land. Seems like they're thinking about casting Orim's Chant. Expert difficulty in Claire states dodging pairing is required. Someone took as a challenge and started a challenge run. I don't think that that's the case, that it's required. I think I mean I didn't play at that level, but I would think that that's not the case. They Solitude pitch Solitude. I cast a Seasoned Pyromancer. Thankfully resolved. I'm gonna discard a Charmaw and a Glimpse. Player land for turn. Weird game. Consult. Last time you did some demilitching? Not that long ago. I have this weird thing with Phoenix where like I'll just like play a slightly tweaked build off stream. I tend to do like really well with them off stream, and I'm like, okay, cool. We're so in there. Let's bring this to the stream today, and then it just goes awfully, so I don't really know. I guess I'm gonna discard a Charmaw. Maybe it was a mistake to bring them in. I don't know. I think I also do want to try to flip the invasion. Rancid with the 61 months. Thank you. Welcome back. They play a Monumental Henge. So maybe has a Solitude up. So let's go ahead and go to combat here. I'm going to send If I send both these here, yeah, they would have to exile Solitude, exile an elemental token to stop me from flipping this. So if they counter this, it's another type for Delirium. It doesn't, though. So we're going to go discard the Boseiju, which finally gets the land in the yard somehow. Then we can search for another one, or we can search for a commercial district. I think with our hand, we'll go for the commercial district. I can also copy this if I want. So I guess this makes my woodland kind of a good attacker. Do you want Roaring Furnace in the deck for some removal? Or do you think that this is a light removal format? I don't know. I don't know what Roaring Furnace is. Like Archon of Cruelty is our removal. This is the kind of deck that doesn't care that much too. Flip battle if not casted. Go to graveyard or exile. I would think at exile, but card, not deck. Card Roaring Furnace. This is the room. That's kind of interesting. Again, I just don't. I think decks like this don't really care that much about having main deck removal spells. So are they going to Daze Undoing me here? I don't think they would Daze Undoing if they were minus like this very often. But they found an Orum's Chant, which is a pain in the ass. Not a lot we could do about that. I don't think I want to discard any of my cards. I think I'll just draw. Good chance they can like chain a lot of this together. Ooh, Woodland Terastodon, then copy. Oh, I don't have Delirium. Fuck. Oh, right. Wait, yeah, this doesn't draw, it searches. So I'm going for a commercial district to try to find Delirium. Why no FOMOs? I mean, which 2-drop is FOMO better than? I did have some for a little bit, but I just don't think they're that good. Well, they're not immediately flipping a Daze Undoing or a Chant, so that's good news. Very weird game. Searching for another battle to give me Delirium next turn. Yeah, but I mean, the ability to get Delirium this turn seemed like it could have been relevant, although maybe that's just not the case. They find it's a fairy. They also have a Gaia Reach. They play the Teferi. They're thinking. They plus, which is probably means they have a Verdict, a Daze Undoing, or a Chance. I don't think they would plus if they didn't have one of those. Although I don't know what they're thinking. It must be like Verdict if they're thinking this long, right? Probably cooked. Recommendation for which tier of mana traders? I don't. Like I have the gold tier, but I've had it for like so many years that I've had it for so many years that I have like better service than you do when you first get it. So it's probably gold tier is probably good right now, but I don't know. You can Boseiju Gaia Reach. That's true. Oh, the Boseiju's in the yard already. Yeah, I know if we Verdict, or if they Verdict, we get Delirium. MH3 lucky. Those are 100 plus. Dang, I sold mine. I had to buy them for some event really early, and I did make like a $2 profit or something. I guess I'm gonna restart the client since our opponent, since we have the little spinny wheel thing. As far as I know, like Card Hoarder is usually the better rental service overall, but it's just harder to get in because they have a more curated client list. I've never tried it. I mean, I'm happy with Mana Traders, but just from what I hear, like Card Hoarder is usually better if you can get it, but you just can't always get in. Although I don't know if that's changed. Okay, so they go minus on my elemental token. I wonder if they did that and I've just been lagging out. I don't know. They've used 2 chants so far. We've got 5 cards in their hand. We've gone ahead and made it to the second main phase here. I'm gonna go ahead and try to copy this. Get a battle, I guess. Yeah, 64 gigs of RAM versus Magic the Gathering Online. I got this PC during MH2's release. Just still have a couple more years on it. Okay, so they go for Assault. It'd be interesting which one they target here. I think I'd rather them target the battle. Okay, that is what they target. So they only have 3 mana up. If they have a Days Undoing, that sucks. Although they minus the Teferi, so no Days Undoing. If they have 3rd Orm's Chant, that also sucks. We don't have Delirium. Okay, it's their instep, and now they're doing something else. Couldn't I? No, I don't have Delirium. Oh, no, they just have the Woodland. Although maybe I can kill Teferi this turn and then cast Marauders. They also might name Reflection. It's not really unreasonable. They do name Shifting Woodland. They've got 3 cards in their hand. We draw Archon of Cruelty. So if I send in... I don't want to cast this or copy this because then I just discard 2 while Narset's in play. I could cast the Marauder, copy the Marauder, send Marauder at Teferi. I don't know how good all that is. I'm making 2 elementals from Spiral on the turn. I think I should have done that. I was a little stunned by the flute. But yeah, I should have. This turn would have been pretty good if I had done that. But we're here now. We want Fable die in combat for Delirium. Yeah, I guess we could just send everything at the Teferi. And then hope that they block the Fable. They're just not guaranteed to. But I think that there's a pretty good chance they do. Oh, sorry, I should have set the Elemental at Narset. We played a lot better. We do have Delirium, and there's not a Teferi in play anymore, so... And we get 2 spins of the Marauder. Although the thing is, it's also like if we attack like this, they might just save... They probably just save the Narset, right? Or would we think that that's the case? I'm not sure. They have a Consign... We have a second Marauder. Very weird game. Because Flute, do you name... Yeah, I would name Shifting Woodland. But they just might not have. They do have 2 cards in the hand. They could have Force Blue card. They have Surgical for Glimpse, which is worse. Kind of weird that they could use the Consign at all in the first place then. Why did they give you Delirium? I mean, they wanted to get my Reflection off the field, right? Getting Reflection off the field does seem pretty valuable. So they get to see my deck. I'm assuming they did not leave a Glimpse in there. They do only have 1 card in their hand, but they have the Gaia Reach. Although Gaia Reach, I could just discard the Archon pretty easy. They're hoping to Surgical Woodland target. I mean, maybe, but like the Woodlands are already Disruptor Fluted. We're gonna activate the Henge, maybe? Look for a Teferi to cast. They reveal an Otawara. They're thinking about playing it as a land versus holding it to bounce something. Could you not float mana when casting Glimpse? I did float mana, but I did not cast Glimpse because my opponent surgicaled my Glimpse in response to the Cascade. They do play the Otawara as a land. And then we draw Woodlands for turn. Which I guess I'm going to discard the Woodlands and not the Archon. I just need 1 more treasure token. So they're going to go back down to 2 cards. Let's go ahead and send just 1 Elemental at Narset. If they want to Solitude the Elemental here and keep the Narset, that's okay. Spike is Merfolk with... I still Ghost Quarter just crazy enough to work. Go to sleep. You've been up too long. It's just crazy enough to work. The Merfolk players are unlike any other modern archetype. They're just like, instead of playing a different deck, I'll play other cards in Merfolk. That'll work. That'll work. I'll just play good cards alongside the Merfolk. Yeah, I'm not gonna forget about the Spiral. We win. What a crazy game to win. Woodland Needled, Glimpse, Surge Gold, Dopey Beatdown, success. Did I see Dingo's Ammo Titan League last night? No, I missed it. Okay, opponents on a Mold 6 on the play. Last year, Nikachu splashed Merfolk with Thoughtseize was so broken. Okay, one thing that Merfolk players, I've always thought this is the cutest thing in Modern. The cutest thing in Modern is how Merfolk players love to splash for Lightning Bolt. And Merfolk players love to splash for Lightning Bolt, not because it's like a good card in Modern or it really makes that much sense in their deck, but because Merfolk players have all been playing Merfolk for 10, 15 years. And for a lot of that time, they've been watching with envy as Lightning Bolt players get to play with Lightning Bolt. Such like a cool, classic, iconic card. They're like everyone wants to play with Lightning Bolt, or at least they did for a long time, and they look for jealousy. And I sincerely think that that's the primary reason that Merfolk players splash for Bolt, is just that they've been watching other people play it for so long. We don't splash red anymore. I mean, I don't know what Merfolk players are doing anymore. I haven't seen a Merfolk gamer in a long time, but I just say when y'all have splashed for Lightning Bolt, I think that I've felt that is the primary reason. HES with the 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for the support, my friend. All right, so the iteration, they reveal a bauble. Somebody better take these happily ever afters away from me. That I've been shuffling on my desk. I need to start widening them out too. Patiently waiting for Lorwyn. Lorwyn is going to be sick, I think. I think it's going to be really nice. I'm a little bit scared of Avatar. I think these Universe Beyond sets would be better if there was just like 70% less legendary creatures. Like if each legendary creature just got one card, and they didn't have every character from the series have a card represented too. I really think that this would be a big improvement for the sets. Okay, we have maybe the most fun line, which is Woodland, Omniscience, Marauder, Glimpse. You think New Sig makes Jeskai Arcanist better? Everything makes Jeskai Arcanist better, Zathis. Yeah, I like the new elementals. They look like a really nice balancing act. I think the Universe Beyond sets should be like 50 card mini sets. I think that could be fine too. I do just also think you can have like a lot of in-universe items and actions and events and lands and artifacts to fill out a normal flavorful set. You have a suggestion for someone who's going to play RC Antwerp in November in terms of deck choice? Well, the best deck in Modern is Titan. I think it's going to continue to be the best deck. So if you want to go into Titan Boot Camp, I think that is an excellent choice. If you want something that's kind of off the wall and something that I've been working on, because what we do is we brew on this channel. I've been really liking the Cascade Birthing Ritual deck. I've been really liking the Arc-like Phoenix Dredge deck with Artist Talent, although it might be possible that the Helping, who top 8'd the Showcase Challenge, has a better build than we do. I really like the team. I would be very tempted to play the Teamer Woodlands control deck. I love that deck. When was the last time you streamed Titan? I don't know that I ever have streamed stock Amulet Titan. I have cast some Primeval Titans. But that's kind of another thing too, is like, you know, the goal here is to maximize ideas and find new brews and try to innovate and not just grind stock builds on stream. But, you know, we have the numbers. Like, of all the decks that were heavily represented at the PT, Titan had the best win rate. Surprisingly, Prowess had number 2. Prowess, I think, is maybe the most slept on deck still. Like, it's seen a little bit more play post PT, but it has not seen as much of an increase in play as I would have expected it to. Where does one find an updated Titan boot camp? I mean, you can go sub the canister. There's Dom. I saw Team Otherworldly Council. I think they were like posting their Titan dock for some money. Titans of deck I'm not going to play, but stuff outside that meta can lock a PT. You have all the lists you said. All the list of what I've been working on you can find in my Mox field. Yeah, that's always the case. You can just pop in the Mox field, see what I've been cooking. All right, so after they think for about 3 minutes with 2 cards in their hand, they'd cast a Captive Cannoneer and give it haste, which is maybe going to be fine. We want to graveyard that since we're going off this next turn. Don't need a 3rd woodland. Okay, so I'm going to copy Omniscience. And then I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to put these in play as permanents, and maybe we'll get lucky and shuffle one back in. But they won't do me much good if I don't have an Omniscience in play after this. I will definitely take an Archon of Cruelty and an Elesh Norn when my opponent's got 2 creatures. And look at this. We're going to have 4 plant tokens. We need imagine Avenger of Zendikar here. All right, pretty good. We're done next turn. Not a lot of outs. Maybe like 1 Aether Spellbomb. Not even sure that is it, right? When will you revisit the whack deck? October 26th. I looked on the calendar. All right, so we're gonna bring in the Ouphes. We're gonna bring in the Force of Vigors, not rocket science. We're gonna drop our water bottle. Now if we're bringing in the forces, I think we should cut the cash grabs to try to keep the permanent count kind of similar. I think I'm going to go down a couple Fables that can be kind of slow on the draw. The Norn could probably go. I think the Terastodons, you could maybe trim 1. The Norns just like actually let you like kill with Archon pretty often. I think I'll go down to 1 nasty Terasty instead. So no writer's block in deck building. Great week to see your deck building. Yeah, I don't know if I would say there's no writer's block so much as I've kind of re-entered the normal grind era where like I feel like we've got Spider-Man pretty explored. There's a couple more things that we can still try, but I'm kind of just back to like normal modern brews. And so I've just had a few things in the queue for that. There have been a lot more failures in deck building than successes off stream the last couple weeks when it comes to the non-Spider-Man stuff. But that doesn't mean there's not still some stuff going. Just like in general, modern has been so tough to mess around with. Charmaw over Terastodon? Could. I think I'd rather have the first Terastodon over the first Charmaw, but maybe Charmaw over like second Terastodon. Maybe more Charmaws on the play. Luke with the Trish Prime, thank you, welcome back. As a prowess main, I tried out Murktide Regents on the board and never felt like they had a place when you bring them in. I think that the Murktides are supposed to be for the Boros matchup and then the mirror, which I think is fine. How actively, if at all, do you try to queue for the PT these days? This year, I took a conscious year off paper tournament grinding on account of getting married and having a couple of personal projects I'm still working on. Next year, I plan to kind of make my return. Oh no, I meant to click mulligan. I mean, this hand's not the worst ever, but I did mean to mulligan. Next year, I'm planning on doing some paper grinding again, although also next year, like the projects are ramping up anyways, so we'll see. That is my goal though. Spider-Man is almost fully explored. Set is 2 weeks old. Yeah, I mean it's just not a very deep set overall. I think there's like some more camera stuff to do. Hide on the Ceiling is a card that could be good, probably not all that good. I think Carnage. I think the Carnage combo could have some more looks. We could play Carnage also as like a Mardu bombardment deck, which would be kind of boring, but maybe kind of better. There's the 2-mana 1/1 trample. I'll copy the creature spells. Am I gonna come to the stream and play that with guides and prides? I don't know that I can. Maybe that card will be good in Relic Humans. Relic Humans could use some more work, but we're just kind of at that part where we're not just grinding the new set still. What's the best camera deck I found so far? I don't know. I actually don't even know that camera's been good. I'm kind of starting to doubt it. All right, let's just go to game 3, I think. We can't really beat the Crypt plus the Saga. It's the turn 2 Saga. without any hate cards here. Yeah, I don't know that. Let me actually go. Let me just cut the Terastodon and play third Fable so we can just dig for more sideboard cards. I just don't know that maybe could have suspended. I don't know that Camera has been that good. Like it's a card that feels really good. Maybe the Tentacle deck was the best one. But as far as like totally building your deck around, oh no, sorry, I take that back. It was like really good in Dice Factory. That build was like kind of here to stay, I think. But like I don't know, outside of Dice Factory and like a one of an Affinity, I don't know that you want to just be building your entire deck around it. It was really insane in Dice Factory, I think. Let's keep that. Camera is basically Strionic Resonator. Well, it also copies activated abilities, so it can copy like fetch lands. It's pretty big. Urza Saga activation. Or Tapper. Hooterville off Urza Saga. Whenever I see this deck in Modern, I'm reminded of the time I played it in Draft, opening Archon and being past Bloodbraid in 2 glimpses. 2 glimpses is so cool. That's sick. So yeah, I like Camera. I think that Camera is like kind of a mandatory one of an Affinity. I think that you can have some builds that are more into it. I think the Camera is good in... It's really, really good in Dice Factory. It has potential and control, but it seems like you don't exactly want to warp your deck to facilitate it in your control builds necessarily. I guess that's about where I'm at with it. Right, so not the scariest Pinnacle Emissary. Let's go ahead and cast this Rumble. They have Force of Negation? They do have Force of Negation. They pitch an Expressive Iteration. Is there a chance that Jackal could be playable? Yeah, for some reason I just didn't get that on the PowerPoint. I do think it's interesting. But yeah, Jackal is the card. I don't know what the Spider-Man name of it is. That copies creature spells. So again, that card could go in the human combo deck we've been playing. I think it could be fine there. That being said, the main application of that card seems to be to copy Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride, and I just don't know if I have it in me to be like, all right, guys, today we're again copying Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride. It's really good when you tutor up a bunch of them or you copy them. I cast 3 1-drops. I win. You know, I don't know that I am going to do that. But it could be really interesting in the Legends human deck, I think. Especially, you can like pick it up and like reset it. I don't know. You got to try Gwynam. Gwynam looks so bad. I don't know. What's good about Gwynam? So, do I want to play around Metallic Rebuke on my Fable? Kind of. Seems like we should. I want to see some Legends being copied. Yeah, I mean, that would be like the Legends human deck. Like copy Sotoro, copy Basim, copy Arbaz. All that seems kind of nice. The problem is you kind of don't have enough 1-drops. That's the issue, it seems. Yeah, so the downside of playing around Rebuke is Kappa Cannoneer, although they could have had both. Okay, let's get ready to rumble. So this is an instant and a sorcery going to the yard, so we do have Delirium. I guess we take Seasoned Pyromancer, and then... we copy Omniscience. Cast Fable. Please, 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 please. We got a lot of permanents. We should probably find 1 or 2 good ones, right? Okay, we got a lot. So we got a lot of treasures from our invasion of Ergamon. Very similar to game 1. Oh wait, Gwynam is the Bolas' Citadel? Okay, I totally thought Gwynam was a different card. I'd probably keep on the draw because of the caverns. Let's keep on the play. I think we have Woodlands and we have Marauder. We have double Surveyor. We have Filter. I think we can keep on the play actually. Although with Surveillance not existing, probably not. Yeah, so I Cruel Claw, Witch's Cottage. That was like the most promising, but it didn't feel like it exactly like ended the game very often when you did the thing. Like, so I got kind of obsessed with trying to figure out like Ulamog, can we play Emrakul? But then you can't Witch's Cottage Emrakul to the top and cast it. So I out of all the builds I've been trying to hammer out, I haven't tested any of them. That one was the one that was looking the most promising. So if Gwynam, which I didn't think that was what Gwynam was, but if Gwynam does make the deck or make the stream, that'll probably be the shell. We're playing Arena and Witch's Cottage to set up for both of them, or Cruel Claw and Gwynam. Have I tried Mega Bonk? Is that a hammer variant, or is that a card I'm not familiar with? Let's go ahead and play the battle. They play this on tap, so they could have snare. So I'd be kind of interested in them snaring this anyways because of the battle going to the yard. Oh, it's a game. No, I'm not familiar. I've been playing Hades 2. I beat the base game of Hades 2, and I'm taking a little break until Esther beats it, and I'll do the rest. Okay, so they tapped out for Frog. Do I want to YOLO the Marauder if we find Delirium? Let's find Delirium first. Sorcery, creature, land. That's only 3 types. What the heck? So I guess we'll try to Surveil into a 4th type. It's nice to have the second Marauder, though. 80s 2 Game of the Year, Expedition 33. Me, it's still Expedition 33, although Hades 2 has been like so addicting. I just like Hades a lot. I don't know. It's gonna be very hard to beat Expedition 33, and then I also really liked It Takes Two this year. I played Hollow Knight for the first time, although I have some more Hollow Knighting I kind of want to do. Okay, so I can graveyard this. I don't have Delirium for Woodland, but maybe Woodland on the Archon will be good. I don't have a 3rd Surveil land. It's maybe a mistake. Just gonna pass. Oh yeah, sorry. Split Fiction is the game I played, not It Takes Two. Yeah, I had some FOMOs. I think that they are worse than Invasion and Cash Grab. Could be wrong. So they missed their combat on accident here. Okay, so don't really mind if this gets countered. Probably will get countered. Kind of actively want it to get countered. Please, 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 please. I think we've got 7 permanents. Should be counting the invasion. Should be okay. Okay, they have a main deck consign. It's okay. We have another one in our hand, but we could also just like Woodland Archon next turn. Maybe attack the invasion, maybe not. Dreams of Consign, main deck Consign into main deck Dreams here is pretty good. Pretty good, you could say. Holy guacamole. The 9/9? Yeah, Dream, like we would not really have cared that much about Thoughtseize. Dreams exiling my Archon is crazy. Still not in the worst shape though. They did miss an attack too. It's okay, you know. It's all good. I'm down to 14. They have 6 cards in their hand. That is castable, but let's go ahead and attack with our 8/8 against the Fatal Push stack. I'm going to send both of them, of course. So now the Terastodon is lethal by itself. They could maybe trade here and go to 1 just to clear the board a bit. Since they are going to have to block the Terastodon every turn after this anyways, it might just be right to do that. Kansai main usually means Riddler. That makes sense. I should still have a mountain to fetch off the Wooded Foothills. They've got 6 cards in their hand. Shouldn't be dead this turn, but maybe dead next turn. Got 2 cards in their hand. They need a consign to have the Riddler be an answer to the Woodland. Otherwise, they need a creature or a sink. There's a Fatal Push. So they do get 2 more look. Oh, they're just using the frog to chump. Okay. I mean, obviously, we're really happy with that. So let's attack the invasion. Just kidding. Probably save the Wooded Foothills. Oh no, I guess I would. I'm gonna discard the Omniscience, right? Just it then. This is a fun way to win. Just okay. I turned my land into a 9/9. What is this? Oh, the Riddler, damn. Could have been an Archon of Cruelty, but I had other ideas. We have enough mana to Elesh Norn first? Not quite. I do think that making them continue the chump block plan is pretty important. Looks like they have a Murktide. 8/8 is smaller than 9/9, I'm pretty sure. They have 3 cards in their hand besides this. Another frog. Looks like an X spell. Riddler, okay. So Riddler, draw 1. 3 cards left. Alright, everybody hold on to your butts. We're about to get some freaking value here. Let's go, baby. Alright, jump your... jump my 9/9 with your 8/8. Okay. Won that game. Very weird game. I think we're running it back against them. Did the Arcanist deck went well? First day playing it went well. Second day did not go so well. Maybe the Steel Cutters were too high on the curve. Endurance not good enough. No, I don't think it's very good against them. It's better if they're like really in on the Unearth plan, which it doesn't look like they are. Otherwise, it's just like it's smaller than all their creatures. You know what's weird? Green has the smallest creatures in Modern. Maybe red. Although I don't know. You got like two mana 4/4 land destructors. It's like Guide of Souls is gigantic. Nethergoyf is gigantic. Cecil is gigantic. Death Shadow is gigantic. Channeler is huge. It's like blue has frog and Murktide region. Like those are the biggest creatures. It's like the green creatures are tiny. Abhorrent Oculus. Yeah, blue somehow has... It's like green has vanilla creatures that are smaller than the blue creatures, but the blue creatures also have a million abilities. It's like... What are we doing here? Is Galta a joke? Oh yeah, that's right. Green gets to have 7 and 8 mana. You can have big creatures green, but they have to be like 7 mana. You can't actually play them in a non-commander game, but you can have them. Of course you can have them. Okay, green does have ice still, that's true. Any plans of revisiting value Omni Control? Yes, I love that deck. I definitely would like to play some more of it. If it's not for a tournament, I'm not very likely to just like grind it on stream because we always try to feel like we've got a reason to be playing what we're playing. Okay, so I actually have a lot of a hard choice here. I guess I'm gonna take the Woodland. I just don't have the second red for the Spyro, but the Woodland's just too good here, I think. I could maybe even like go to discard. Green has extra a recent PT standout. I still haven't got the scoop. I don't know if Dingo's talked about it on stream. Did Dingo end up regretting registering Hexdrinker at the Pro Tour? Or did he end up feeling like he liked the tech? Are we forgetting Tarmogoyf? I'm forgetting Tarmogoyf, yes. I'm totally forgetting it on purpose. Pretty good. One up Bloodbraid with 6 permanents after playing Garden for turn. Okay, well, my opponent is a Dimir control deck. Their deck is full of counter magic, so Shifting Woodland tends to be your plan against all the discarded counter magic. Although Marauder is better against the Spellbomb, because I believe you only have to have Delirium when you cast it. Lowest Hexdrinker even 4. Okay, guess. Guess what it was for. However, with our opponent having the Nile Spellbomb, the Marauder would have absolutely been better to take. But I'm just playing around counter spells by taking the Woodland. He regretted it and wished he had Hope. Yeah, I think Hope seemed like the real card. A hard card to find, though. Yeah, I do think Neoform wasn't a very good choice overall. Not the worst choice ever, but I do think there are better choices out there. Okay, well, we already have a Woodland, so I guess we're going to grab a Surveil. Or we could suspend Glimpse. Okay, so I go down to 16, I suspend Glimpse, I chump for a turn, take 5, 6 down to 2, take 7, takes down to 1, die. Seems like I should Surveil instead. Don't say that I'm currently bringing Neo for the RC. I mean, I don't know how much the metagame has changed, but I would still say it's probably a bad choice. You could bring something else. It's like Titan is the best choice, but you know, both decks can kill on turn 2. Neoform kills on turn 2 more often, of course. Titan has a very consistent turn 3, but Titan is just kind of good against all the sideboard hate. Or Titan is just so much harder to hate out. There aren't just like 1 mana cards that every deck can play. Both decks are kind of weak to counter magic. I do think that both are bad against Frog. Maybe Neoform is better against Frog. I can see that being possible. Not that you should really be that prepped for Frog at the moment. Were you shocked that since the previous Pro Tour, this one had 0 scam? I'm not shocked that scam had no representation. I guess we are... Yeah, we're dead. Okay, going to game 3. Yeah, so yeah, that's true. So maybe Neoform is better now that Belcher is dropping, because Belcher did put 2 copies in the top 8, but it did have a negative win rate at the PT, which is interesting. Yeah, so as far as like underplayed decks, Brute Scale and Prowess are 2 like popular decks that people I think are still kind of sleeping on. I'm gonna mess around with some Brute Scale with the Ice Tills and Emrakuls. I know it's not like a completely revolutionary idea, but I should try it. Another thing too is, not that this was exactly what I would play for this metagame, but I did like the Trinisphere Eldrazi Ice Till deck. I thought that build might be a little underexplored still. A weird hand. I think we need to keep. Didn't Amulet have the highest win rate and also win back-to-back challenges after the PT? Yeah, I'm saying if you want it for your RC choice, consider just learning and playing Amulet Titan. That is going to be the best choice, especially because like this was a metagame that wasn't supposed to be very good for Amulet, and it still had the highest win rate. Samurai combo also decent. I actually think Sam combo is actively bad, honestly. If I'm going to be quite honest, I think Sam combo is a big trap. I think the deck is very much overstated how good it is. I think that good players have a really good time playing against Sam combo. Sam combo is kind of like Dimir Ring in the sense that like you can have a really high win rate with it on Magic Online, but I think in a Pro Tour field or a RC field, it's going to have a lower win rate. I could be wrong, but I have a low opinion of it. So do we play the Marauder? Okay, you know what? That's an extra permanent. The thing is, we also have Woodland for Omniscience next turn. But they could just have Graveyard Hate. I think that when you register this deck, sometimes you just have to spin with 5 permanents and hope for the best. And this is certainly not the best. Also, kind of not the worst, since we can actually still. I discard a Spyro. I can actually still Woodland Omniscience next turn if the Shaman token can attack. That is. Is Goryo's a good? Goryo's is fine. It isn't. It doesn't seem like it's a particularly good choice. It didn't have an amazing win rate. It's like a totally fine win rate. Quantum Energy is a better choice than Boros Energy. I think. I think the deck is better. I think it's been better. Yeah, I did see Matt's tweet showing all of his like brews. There's definitely some cool ideas there. His goblins list was like almost identical to like a build that I've been like messing with off stream. And the thing with Arena of Glory Warren Instigator is you just can't play it in a Guide of Souls Ocelot Pride world, in my opinion. Okay, we don't care much about the Thoughtseize. We mostly just care about Graveyard Hate. And I guess removal for the Shaman. This might be a new Jin idea. What if we found room for Hive Mind and Pact? Well, I think that's old Jin. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not that interested in trying to innovate on Titan. I think the deck is close to solved. Okay, so they do have the Fatal Push. So let's see what we draw. We draw an Archon of Cruelty. So kind of interesting, where we need to find mana, but we also really want to keep the Archon, so we have something good to cast post Omniscience. I'm going to discard the Elesh Norn. Just the Elesh Norn. I guess we could also attack the Invasion, and if they don't stop me from doing this, this can find me my 4th mana. Yeah, but Matt's a great brewer, always has cool ideas. Like that he shares that kind of stuff. So even if they flip the Tomio here, we can still hit this. Okay, which I guess is what we're banking on. All right, so that was a flop. Let's cast a Seasoned Pyromancer. I'm gonna keep the Archon in my hand, I think. Although maybe I should just... No, I have the Reflection. Let's keep the Archon, yeah. No more lands, but we do find Bloodbraid Marauders, which is kind of interesting. I don't know. I was surprised not to see a single living end. Yeah, I didn't realize there was actually 0. But that is surprising to me, too. I need to check what Esther's doing. She's either stomping or hammering something. Okay, she was doing neither. She's tenderizing meat here. Let's think. I mean, my opponent's clearly got some counter magic up. I guess I'm going to start off by targeting the Spyro. And then I think we'll discard 1, 2. I know we've held this Archon for a long time. Would battles be too good if destroying them got me the effect? Got you the effect? I don't know. Doesn't seem like they'd be that crazy. I guess that means she is hammering something. Okay, so they take one of my 2 Bloodbraid Marauders. They've got 4 cards in their hand. We are still a land away from Woodland's Omnisciencing. Yeah, I think I should just kind of put this trigger on the stack. Okay, not too surprised to see this get consigned. And then I think at this point I'm going to copy the Spyro. I'm going to make 2 more tokens. I'm just going to send with everybody. This is kind of bad. This plan is maybe kind of bad into the Tomio ult, but we also just still have the Woodland Omniscience stuff if we find the land, which we did find the land. Send with everybody. Get in there, plant tokens. Stop being so lazy all the time. So this is 6 damage and then putting them down to 4. Crack a clue token. So the Tamio +1 obviously stops a ton of my aggression here. We could copy another Marauder and then we're attacking for 5 total. They attack with both. They probably need to fly this frog, right? I've got this plant token. I don't think they can flip and stop woodlands at the same time. Well, they can only really stop woodlands with Graveyard Hate, which they should be able to. They can do that if they have Graveyard Hate. Whenever this deck wins, it feels like it's not supposed to win this way. Yeah, kind of no matter how it wins. Maybe not no matter how, but it does attack from a few different angles, which is fun. Okay, so they flip the Tamio, they plus the Tamio. We do have a lethal on the crackback, so it's like it's still going to be very tough for them. They need to kind of have like Nile Spellbomb plus Fatal Push. Deluge X equals 2. I mean, that would be good. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Deluge though. Okay, so do I want to copy my Archon of Cruelty? I don't really see much reason not to. I think it seems kind of clearly better than the Omniscience here. Let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. So they cling to dust for life. Cling to dust is really nice here. Although we still have the Omniscience in the yard, which is good. Although, am I dead to this frog? Might just be dead to the stupid frog. So I copy the... So they're at 7. I copy the Marauder. I attack them for 5. And I die to the frog. No way to play around Cling, really. Surgical was beatable. Cling wasn't. Alright. Good games. Okay. Another Kihira deck. The Woodland plan makes you pretty strong against them, at least game 1, I think. I guess turn 3 Narset's going to be kind of a pain. Frog OP should have been black-green. Yeah, Frog being black-green is kind of base. They keep a card on top. Really thought we were going to win that game. All right, no more Surveillance. I think I want to lead on the invasion here, since if they play Narset next turn, I want to be able to like rumble into Bloodbraid. Although a snare is a snare. Watch the video on the Carnage clone deck. Thanks for giving Whirl. Sorry I didn't do amazing. I mean, I'm happy enough when like a new brew goes 3-2. I'm usually not sad at all. Right, I'm gonna play the Seasoned Pyromancer since if they have, not that they have Narset, but I think it's a bit better against both Narset and Teferi. So I would discard Invasion and then Gemstone Caverns. Like I would be interested in playing the Carnage clone deck again. I was interested in trying to play some Oculuses in the shell. There was a chatter who posted a version of the deck that was like playing they were playing like a really interactive version, one that was like it was way more interactive than I thought you could like possibly build the archetype. It didn't exactly look good, but it did look like incredibly interesting. I do think I'd play it again. That was you? Yeah, did you end up playing that build at all? I mean, like I thought it was really interesting. I just didn't think it was the best way to go. Didn't mean to discourage you. Did you end up playing it at all? Did you like it, or did you just build it? There's a fun Raveler, so that means my Bloodbraid not online, so we can try to find a Woodlands. Didn't make it out of Tournament's practice room. Yeah, that's kind of what it seemed like. It just didn't seem like a deck that wanted to be interactive, but I did think it was really cool how you were able to build it in a fashion that was way more interactive than I thought possible. Okay, so let's discard just Omniscience. And then that'll give us Delirium. Shout out Battles. I'm not an enchantment, I'm a battle. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy the Woodland. I think I'll lead on the Norn, since if they have like a random like main deck wear tear, I guess this maybe a silly thing to play around. It just I want to cast this if they can somehow stop me from omnisciencing. Okay. Okay, well, Omniscience, you get to stay in play. We just got to pass the turn. Okay, you don't get to stay in play. That's okay, though. They pitched Consult the Star Charts. Not really in particularly bad shape. You don't want to Rumble in Fable? I didn't think so, because like you care about higher permanent count, right, in the stack. So doing that makes you sack the permanent, which I thought was kind of a problem. Maybe it wasn't that big a deal, though. Okay, so Philadelphia the Saga. We just draw another land. So not... Yeah, what happens if you copy a battle with Shifting Woodland? Does it transform? So it should enter with no counters. So I think it enters with no counters, tries to transform, and then can't transform. That would be my guess. So it just dies. Like, I guess that's like copying Planeswalkers. Okay, so they find a Narset. I think they changed the rule and it now transforms. Oh, maybe they did. This Wrath X equals 5. Okay, let's assume that it did. Not that I'm gonna do it, but if it did, like, would I even want to? I guess searching up a battle could be kind of okay. Let's just Seasoned Pyromancer token. Hopefully we draw some action for the Omniscience. Otherwise, the thing is we could also go... I guess we just put a stop on our draw step. Stop on our draw step. Okay, fine, I'll just cast this. Although I guess their Narset's going to stop me from actually using the loot ability. They changed the rules so token copies can transform. I see. You Woodland Elesh, you get you don't get the copy ability from Saga tokens, or you don't get to double the Saga Chapter 1. So they've got 1 card in their hand, drawing up to 2. They also have the Gaia Reach, which can just make me discard a card. Invasion of Alara seems good to flip into, and it does flip into a copy of a battle. It could be good in the deck. The problem is, like, if you're gonna put a 5 mana spell in your deck, you do kind of just need to be able to cast it, and that's not exactly a particularly castable card. They flipped another Narset. They're going to kick an Orm's Chant. We do draw some action for the Woodlands once we get that going. In my draw step, I'm going to copy this Fable. This is a trick maybe some of y'all don't know. But this will trigger, and then we'll get another token here. I think I'm going to not play my Woodland for turn, though. I think I'm going to be able to discard it to the Gaia Reach, potentially. So the hand right now is just a Narset. They also have a Narset minus and a Narset in hand, and a draw step. And it's nice to have the draw step stop here so that you kind of just get perfect information before you choose what to do. So they find another Orm's Chant, they play a Narset, we all fall asleep in the chat. And then the counter stays, so you only get to make a token with it 1 time. They find an Isochron Scepter. But can I find my Boseiju? How do I find my Boseiju? I could tutor it if I could get an Invasion of Ergamon in play. Seems easier said than done. Since apparently I can't Woodland it. Pretty cooked, I think, unless we rip our Boseiju. But even then, it's like we still get Time Walk, so the Gaia Reach is going to lock me out eventually. If I discard Archon, you can copy it with Transform Fable. I guess that's a way to do something, although my opponent just revealed Days Undoing. So no problem. We just keep it moving. I did bring in some Charmaws last time, and honestly, I kind of regretted it. I think we'll still play like 2 on the play, and then reassess for game 3. I was looking at Blue Eye Control, staring at Surgical as main decking extraction for game 1s against Gorios on top of a hand check before you Narset Days and doing too cute. I would just sideboard the sideboard card, you know. I would just sideboard the sideboard card. I think you're lost in the sauce. Would you ever run Flame Blitz versus this deck? Probably not. Flame Blitz is usually like just always card disadvantage. Force of Vigor might not be too bad as a way to beat the lock. The thing is, they only usually play like 1 or 2 Scepters, so I'm going to just try to hold the Boseiju for it, or like tutor the Boseiju with the invasion. Have I thought about Stormwing Entity plus Rally the Monastery? I haven't thought about Stormwing Entity in a long time. It seems like Entity is probably worse than Show Off and Steel Cutter. I did like Rally the Monastery, but I think Rally the Monastery might have been kind of a bigger modern card if it didn't get printed at the same time as Steel Cutter. Someone said you could have copied Norn to stop the imprint trigger. Did I have the mana? You're right. I maybe could have just done that. I think you're right. Kind of an easy thing to miss, but might have been just good. Is Force not good for Scepter? Again, they only play like 1 or 2 Scepters, so I don't think you want to bring it in. Although they could also have Rest in Peace. Been seeing like more Surgicals lately. One thing that's really awkward is if you bring in Force of Vigor for Scepter and they just also have Teferi in play, you're like, well. We'll suspend if we don't draw another 2-drop, I think. They draw another 2-drop. Sorry to all the suspend truthers. With Spyro and into 3 Fairy. I guess I don't know what you're asking. As I never do these days. Alright, drew a 2-drop. I would have suspended. It's just suspending is, tough with the Teferi coming. But I do think like just like making them have the Teferi, putting some pressure on them is fine. Just use your mana. But if you can loot it away, let's loot it away instead. Why would you spend with 2 good reasons not to spend? I mean, just making them have the Teferi pressuring the counter spells seem like at least kind of fine. So I am interested in discarding the Seasoned Pyromancer for a token to attack the Teferi if they minus. And then also an extra card for Delirium. It's really bad if my next 2 cards are really bad, but thankfully they weren't all that bad. Narset is worse for us than Teferi here because we got the Spyro. They flip a Consign. We're missing a type for Delirium. If we could just cast this, then maybe it would be okay. I guess we can just go cast. Okay, let's attack the Narset for 1. We can cast the Seasoned Pyromancer, discard the Omniscience, then cast the Marauder. We go up 2 permanents from the Seasoned Pyromancer. We also discard the Khalni Garden, and then we go -1 permanent for the treasure token. Certainly seems like the move. Not too often you cast the Spyro into Narset with cards in hand on purpose. Big money, big money, big money. Let's go. No Force of Negation is the biggest. The biggest thing, of course. Oh, no. I guess I got what I deserved. Kept you waiting there too long, my love. All those days without a word. Maybe wonder how I'd forget, or if I'd regret that special love I had for you. My glimpse of tomorrow. Alright, not out of it yet. My opponent reveals another Narset to their Narset. Fun, 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 fun. Do they have a land to play this turn? They do have a land. It's a Hallowed Fountain, entering untapped, representing another consign. We're 1 damage short of killing the invasion and killing the Narset. Killing the Narset instead of just putting it to 1 is, or putting the Narset to 1 might be an option here. Let's see if they have a snare for the Rumble. They don't have a snare for the Rumble, and we find another Marauder, although we also mill a Glimpse, and this is actually our last Glimpse. So, I suppose let's go ahead and flip the invasion, put the Narset to 1. Since we know they have another Narset, I think we just don't play around with Days Undoing. Like, we think their hand is consigned Narset. If one of the mystery cards is like the natty Days Undoing, it is what it is. But our ability here to use this invasion to tutor up this Marauder seems really nice. They might consign this, but that would be okay too. But now we just get to tutor up a Woodland, and we have Woodland Omniscience ready. Yeah, I know our opponent doesn't know that we... it's like there's a good chance that they would have just consigned the Marauder trigger. Like, that could have been fine, but... I don't know. I think I'm pretty interested in just having Woodland Omniscience ready to go and just putting the Narset to 1. Like, they didn't Days Undoing... Was it last turn or the turn before when they had Narset in play? So I think just not playing around Days is fine. Yeah, this is like our third time we flipped the battle here. So Lauren revealed. It's a March. They marched my battle, pitching Prismatic Ending. It seems like they took a moment to understand that the mana value is 2. So my opponent's hand is Narset, potentially a consign, although now that they cast the March, it wasn't clear that they had it. And we are out of glimpses of the deck. They do play the third Narset. Have the Woodland either be an Omniscience or a 3/1 creature land. Hard to say what's better. They reveal an Orum's Chant. And they do have a land to kick. The Orum's Chant. Not how I feel about that. I'm gonna kick the champ. Oh yeah, March couldn't exile battle. How about playing a 1-card combo with Omniscience, like Release the Ants? So the 1-card combo win with Omniscience, the best one in Modern is Karn the Great Creator, because that card... Listen, I don't know what Release the Ants does. I'm going to be quite honest. I know Karn does more than whatever Release the Ants does. So you can do that, although it does cost you a sideboard card. Okay, Release the Ants is also not legal in Modern, is it? Now I'm all on this. Yeah, you have to win the Clash, too. Anyways, so you can do that. The problem is that's not right for this Glimpse build. The Glimpse build, you want permanence to hit. So you can hit Karn, but Karn's only good with Omniscience in play, which is why it's better, I think, to just lean in on like the higher quality stuff. Okay, so they find a Verdict, but then I get to make Spyro tokens, kill the Narset, have a Omniscience ready to go, maybe. Yeah, but don't you have to win every clash? You also have to like brainstorm something to the top. But you can turn Karn into a 1-card combo kill with Clock of Omens, the Essence Reliquary, and Aetherflux Reservoir, and Ancestral Statue. If you have those 4 cards in the sideboard, a Karn and Omniscience is a 1-card combo win. Is Esper Control viable in Modern? I mean... Is this Esper, or is this blue-white with 2 black lands as their Prismatic Ending third color? Release the ants. Release the ants. I consign this. Okay, they don't. We don't know any card in our opponent's hand. right, let's... Well, maybe I want to attack this. Okay, I'm going to copy Omniscience. Yeah, maybe they do have black cards in the deck. Maybe it's Surgical, though. They can sign this ETB. I think instead of attacking the battle this turn or this game, I'm just going to say, here, I'm going to put you to 6 life. I'll have 6 power in play and present lethal next turn. Maybe a Deluge. There's like no way they have Deluge, right? Okay, they do have a Solitude. You know, I didn't exactly think Deluge would like do a lot in this format, but I thought it would do a little more than it's done. They got 2 cards in their hand. Planeswalker seems to be one of them. No, they're pending my Fable. That's okay. Am I going to block? Are they going to attack? I don't know. This draw step stop back. Well, I guess we're going to cast that, aren't we? I don't know what I'm going to target, but I'm going to cast Terastodon. So I could kill 3 of their lands. Pretty risky business. I think I'll do the kind of classic hedge of let's kill 2 of their lands and one of our own things. The own treasures in the battle. I might flip this battle. I like this because the Terastodon still rings king on this board. So this is much better if our opponent has a sweeper where we got to double stone rain them, and then we're still ahead on board. One of their cards is an Otawara. If they're going to play an Otawara here, that means they probably have a Solitude. I think the threat of flipping battle being a thing to think about. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so we could cast this Omniscience this turn, or we could make a... Wait, sorry, I thought I had a Fable in the yard. I guess they Prismatic ending the Fable. Okay, so we'll just cast the Omniscience this game. Let's go to combat. I'm going to attack with my Elephant and my Terastodon. I think I might be about to... Oh, maybe I should attack the battle. Right, the elephants are now an endangered species since there's only 1 left on the field. I'm going to cast my 10 mana do nothing enchantment with my land. Honestly, that's a fine exchange. They got no cards in their hand still. And they have a spell that they're playing on their turn. It is... Oh, so they're putting Kihira into their hand, sure. And they top deck an Orm's Chant. Okay, so we get to take the turn off. Nice of them to give me a break. I guess I'm going to keep the Khalni Garden so I can discard it to like an Invasion or a Fable trigger. They got 8 minutes 30 seconds, so if they can't close this game out, they may have a hard time in game 3. They're going to choose to activate the Hinge instead of Kihira. Lucy is groaning over here in the corner. We don't have a lethal attack, so I do think just I would rather flip the Invasion than deal my opponent 9 damage here because I have an Omniscience, or 2 Omnisciences. Yeah, I'm not forgetting my Spyro tokens, but I've just had something better to do, I think, on each turn. Like I think keeping an Omniscience in play is pretty valuable if we can resolve this here, which we will be able to. And then we can maybe copy other stuff with the Omniscience. So can I activate the Hinge? They're not that likely to hit something good off the Hinge. They do find it's a fairy though, which is a pretty good hit. You brick more often than you hit on the Hinge in the stack. Last turn in a turn. Oh, sorry, you're right. I guess I did forget about it. They bounce my Omniscience. They've got 2 cards in their hand. If the Teferi is alive, I can't cast the Invasion. So I guess let's go attack the Invasion with the Terastodon. And then attack the Teferi with the other 2. I am out of glimpses, so this Bloodbraid Marauder is not actually that good of a top deck. Is it overcommitting to play it? It doesn't mean I have lethal in play. The graveyard of Force of Negation. All right. 0 mana 3/2. That also shows my opponent my deck. You had lethal in play by copying the Spyro in graveyard. That's not true, right? They just blocked the Terastodon. You have lethal already. Oh, next turn by copying the Spyro, I see. That should have been this last turn. Well, I mean, this gives me the ability to maybe copy something else with the Woodland, although I guess that's not too likely. All right, so I will not forget about Seasoned Pyromancer. I will not forget about Seasoned Pyromancer. They still have the Kihira. Oh, no, sorry, they don't have the Kihira. The Kihira's dead. Yeah, I didn't realize this. We have this target saved on the Woodlands. Okay, so they cast a Orum's Chant. Slow motion disaster incoming. You think I was going to forget this, Spyro? Kind of a valid thing to think. A Solitude does save them for this turn. All right, let's go ahead and see if they have the Solitude. I wasn't F6, was I? I thought I was yielded till end of turn. All right, they Solitude, they concede. So we go to game 3 with them having 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock. As always, I'll concede if I feel that I'm 0% to win. I think I'm going to trim a Marauder and a Glimpse and just bring in the rest of the Charmaws. I don't know if this is good. I'm kind of feeling it. Let's go. Let's go pitch the second Stomping Ground, I think. We can try to keep the Boseiju for like a Rest in Peace or a Scepter. When it's on a Mold-to-5 on the play, down to almost the even 5 minutes. Graveyard's Force of Negation. Ooh. Turbo Charmaw aggro is our plan for game 3. Turn 1, Malevolent Rumble. Oh, sorry, I already have a Woodland. Okay, let's take Seasoned Pyromancer. All right, so let's trade this for a counterspell. Have 4 cards in their hand. They do have a 3rd land. They only have 3 cards. They mold to 5. I'm going to cast the Charmaw. Alright, so we Stone Rain them. They Surveil. 4 minutes on the clock. They do keep a card on top. They find another archive, so they're tapping out, but we don't have the 5th land the untapped 5th land here. We do have a lot of good top decks, including untapped lands. Anything to discard Omniscience is nice. They do Solitude, pitching Orum's Chant, going down to 1 card. They also keep a card on top. So if this is like a Narset or a Teferi on top, maybe we could get a little worried. Let's Do a nice streamer cash grab here, finding 4 lands. I guess we'll take a land that surveils. And I didn't realize we did that in our draw step. Just have the draw step stop on because of the Woodland Saga thing. They have a Narset, so yeah, I mean, if they can just Narset Days Undoing me, we're cooked unless we decide to... We can Woodland Terastodon to play around that. My opponent revealed Consult the Star Charts here. We keep that. So my opponent's hand is Consult the Star Charts Mystery card. They missed a land drop. So I think that I just think it's so unlikely that my opponent Days Undoings me that I'm going to cast the Charmaw instead of taking the turn off to kind of slowly kill the Narset and have no board state. I think we just have to top deck untap land and then also have Days Undoing. We know one of the cards isn't Days Undoing. They reveal Days Undoing, and they have the 3rd land. I mean, this was pretty unlikely. I don't know. Maybe this was wrong. We have a very good rumble here. A very good rumble indeed. We don't quite have the ability to just start popping off. Let's make sure we can kill this Narset, I guess. Ah, dang it. Yeah, I know I had Delirium if I choose nothing, but then I don't have this Seasoned Pyromancer, so I think it's better to try to attack the Narset and draw 2 more cards, right? Also think it's probably better to just play my 3-mana 2/2 so I can pressure the Narset. I think I'm still making that play, not playing around the Days Undoing, but I don't know, maybe it just was wrong. They are controlling my Spyro with Narset and Teferi. They do play their 4th land here. They have Orm's Chant. All right, no spells, huh? Yeah, I'll concede if I'm 0%. I don't know if they're going to make me feel that I'm 0% in 2 minutes. They could, though. They get like Scepter Chant Lock going. I had enough 6 so I could sack the spawn token in response. Happy they have Mystic Gate, although I guess we're kind of late in the match for that to matter a ton. Yeah, well, let's cast this Bloodbraid Marauder. Then I don't... maybe it was better to cast the Spyro, discard the Archon, and then attack with it. Let's just do this turn. I think that's okay. They purge the Marauder. They have a minute, 20 seconds. 4 cards in their hand. They plus the Teferi. Have another Teferi. So we'll unf 6 so we can sack the spawn if they decide to get greedy. They don't. 4 cards in their hand after they minus. I don't think they've hit their land drop this turn. There's the land. Yeah. And then if they counter this, I have Delirium. Okay. So I think I want to just kill the Narset. I think I just killed Narset 2 lands. So now I actually think I'm ahead despite getting Narset Days Undoing. They also have 50 minutes. So like giving them 3 elephants when they got 50 seconds. Like maybe I'm giving them a win con here. I think it's probably going to be okay. Again, I try to just not play like the clock exists, and you know, if they time out, they time out. I concede if I feel I'm 0%. So they're gonna Solitude. I'm gonna gain 9 up to 34. They're gonna attack me for 9, back down to 25. I can go Spyro, discard Archon to get Delirium. I could also maybe copy the Archon and attack with it this turn. My opponent is just gonna time out though. Yeah, but I get to go Invasion, discard the Seasoned Pyromancer into Woodland's Omniscience, cast Archon of Cruelty. So it kind of seems like I'm probably gonna win this game if they don't time out. Kind of depends maybe on like how good our draws are here, but yeah, drawing Spiral. Yeah, I think we win this one anyways. Okay, well, let's spin that wheel, baby. One more time. Oh, baby, one more time. All right, I think we won this one fair and square, although they did time out here. Okay, so we did 4-1 this league. It looked pretty nice. I've been wanting to circle back to this one for a while. It's just been one of those that it's been in the back burner for a long time. Felt like a good day to dust it off. Pretty nice. I think I am going to work on some of that brood scale ice steel deck. Again, nothing too revolutionary, but there's a lot of people asking for it. And I think